Okay, our beloveds, so this is take 2 from our earlier channeling. We wish today to talk about the double slit experiment and how it actually functions, not from a scientific point as you all explore it, but more from the perspective of the energetic piece. It is your intention or your ability to measure something through experiencing it that gives it form. The question has always been, if a tree falls in the forest and nobody hears it, does it make a sound? Because sound is energy, and it can be neither created nor destroyed, but if there is nobody to hear it, does it actually exist? And there is no way for you all to measure it, because to measure it means that something or someone is there to measure it, so therefore you will never know the answer to this question from a scientific perspective. But nonetheless, here is the answer. No. Because the sound only exists if it is seen or measured. Now, why is that? Because your intentions alter experiences. It is that simple. When you see something, you can either observe it from a place of neutrality or from a place of negative or positive observation. Your thoughts or expectations, as well as your biases, affect how you perceive it. And how you perceive it then puts that energy back out into the ether, thereby reinforcing that construct. That is why when you are a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Now here is our more pointed message today. The double slit experiment is important because when you look at something, your expectation on the outcome or the results affect the outcome or the results. Look at the placebo effect. It is not logical that merely receiving, if you will, a sugar pill should change the outcome when it does nothing, literally nothing, to resolve the underlying issue. But it does. So what does that tell you about your intentions? That they matter. So, if you feel that the outcome is going to be a light or a particle, right? It will affect how you see it, how you observe it, how you process it. Even if what you believe the outcome is does not actually align with the reality of the underlying situation. Now, our another has had a particular life's journey, which causes her to see life from her unique vantage point. And at this point in time, it is that the big pharmaceutical industry and the medical industry is beholden to a profit model that is not designed to ultimately heal the underlying issues, but merely put a Band-Aid on it because that is where the profit lies. Number 1, in selling you the pharmaceutical drugs. Number 2, forcing you to go back to the physicians over and over and over again. And number 3, to keep you in that state of illness where you don't feel well to go out and explore and create in other areas. This is the sick care model that you all are stuck in. Now, there are health practitioners who, for whatever reason, have chosen not to limit themselves to the traditional training within the Western medical platform, but go beyond that. And oftentimes it is because this individual doctor or a close friend has been underserved by the medical community, and they are forced to step outside of this paradigm. And when they do, they realize how truly corrupt the system is and how the training that they received in medical school was subpar. And then they go out and beat a new drum. And they are not well received within the medical community. They are laughed at because, obviously, you must diminish somebody's voice in order to keep the rest of you sheep in the pen so that you can be slaughtered for profit. And now you are beginning to see, for those of you whose eyes are beginning to open, how this construct really has been structured. And for those of you who can't, that's fine. Your time may or may not come, and we are not interested in your agreement at this point. We don't need to agree with you in order to tell our story. Our story is to share how the double slit experiment works. Your intentions create your reality. Your intentions change the ripple of the universe through changing the outcome. If you're given a placebo with one desired outcome versus another, you will see how your intentions literally steer the ship in that direction. And this is not scientifically plausible, yet the data results clearly show that this is the case. Now, what we can tell you, for those of you who are scientifically minded, is that there are studies being done secretly behind closed doors that validate what we are saying. But what we can tell you is that these results cannot be published right now because of the public outcry as well as the government shutdown of these findings. It is not, oh, we have insider knowledge. We're merely telling you. Within time, you will see that this is indeed the case. But the environment has to be ripe to allow for this dialogue, and it is not yet. And so those scientists who have verifiable data from studies where they are neutral in their curiosity, those scientists are waiting for a hospitable environment within which they can present their results. But until that environment is reached, they simply hide and have inner dialogues behind closed doors because they know that their lives may be at risk and that the public shaming, just like in anything else, will begin. And they know that their point of interest lies in changing the reality of those whom they are trying to influence. And they can only do it in a manner where the governmental support is there to allow for curiosity in these experimentations. And then and only then will they come out. What we can tell you with absolute certainty is that Kati is not an outlier. She is actually within the majority, but the majority of people who have had similar experiences like she has either are not observant about it because they blindly follow what their doctors tell them, or when they tell their doctors, they are dismissed and they question the validity of their interpretation. Kati knows her truth, and we are encouraging her to find a platform to share this from so that others who are curious will follow these insights and do their own experiments. If you don't believe in a deity or a creator outside of you, begin to test the validity of that. If you don't believe that intentions can change the outcome, start to play with that and see how it works. If you don't believe that victims of abuse are in that situation because they don't love themselves, just simply look at all the women that you move out of the abusive situations who then either return to that existing one or go to another abusive relationship. The results are in, but all you need to do is be curious and stop finding some comfort in the group think. There are those who are manipulating and controlling the narrative, and it is because it supports their place of remaining in power. And if you wish to have things remain as they are, then continue with your methodologies. But if you really want to build a different world, set the intentions that you wish to be a seeker of solutions. And when you ask that within your particular model of influence on this universal construct, we will come in and start to guide you. And for those of you who have no interest, that's fine. But we will find those who do through the channelings of our another here. And every day we find a new follower who believes in this. And the more we grow the collective consciousness that focuses on the solutions instead of just bitching about the same old things, the more we can move this construct towards healing and real viable solutions. So our message to everyone today, but especially to our another, is no longer throw the pearls before the swines. Share your stories with conviction, knowing that they are your truths. And don't allow anyone to sway you. If they don't agree with you, that is their problem. And you will find with time, as you have more and more experiences, that your own convictions will continue to be fine-tuned, because this is uniquely your journey. But do not let anyone dim your light. Do not let anyone make you small. You are meant to be a voice of change. And if you really want to be a voice of change, do that and stand on your pulpit of light where you merely shine on what has been hidden for so long and now is ready to be seen, felt, released, and replaced with something that feels better. And that is the solution of the collective consciousness that flows from love and not fear. And for the rest of you who choose to remain in the fear-based model, just know that your intentions will continue to create more of exactly those experiences which you are drawing to yourself with your fear-based language. It is merely the laws of the universe. And until you shift over to a love-based paradigm, your experiences will continue to feel uncomfortable, and others will call you out on your hypocrisy because you're not willing to be open to the idea that you might be wrong. And within that singular statement is the intention that we set out at this point, that the universe express truthfulness, and where what you say and do does not reside and resonate with truth, that your personal experience will continue to express to you the fallacy in your belief systems. And so it is. Namaste.